Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up to see tonight's Tears of a Clown. I'm so sad.
I think it's going to be Kellyanne Conway.
A senator appears to cry crocodile tears. Democrat Senator Alex Padilla took to the Senate floor on Tuesday to play the victim card. This after his recent disruptive grandstanding publicity stunt that got him kicked out at Kristi Noem's presser. Watch as he recounts the moment, desperately trying to get the waterworks going.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees,
then flat
on my chest.
I can relate.
And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained? Not once did they tell me why.
Oh, no.
I pray you never have a moment like this.
Someone deserves an Oscar. Even Justice Smollett's like, boy, that guy's a drama queen. But you know what? As fun as it is to watch this man baby fake cry, the video is missing something. Maybe this will help.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. Why am I being detained? Not once did they tell me why.
Or, no, wait.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained?
That was just to let everybody know nothing is beneath us. Michelle, he said he was forced on his knees and flat on his back. What did you say when you heard that?
When he was forced flat on his chest, I said, I can relate.
I can really relate.
You can really relate.
Laugh, okay? You're not going to make me feel better by then not laughing at my joke, you know? Thank you. If I couldn't laugh, I would be in an institution.
Yes, you would. Well, so this Senator Padilla, it's funny, before I even saw this thing that you made, I was going to say, cue the freaking violins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, he has said time and time again, all I wanted was to ask a question. No. All evidence to the contrary. You didn't want to ask a question. You wanted your viral moment. If you had wanted to ask a question, Mr. Padilla, you would have waited for the Q&A section of the moment, but you didn't. You barged, you lunged, you ranted, you raised your voice. And given that people have been assassinated lately, and there have been many assassination attempts, the Secret Service did their job and tried to restrain you. They spoke very calmly. They pulled you into a hallway. You still resisted. And so, yes, you were marched down a hallway. Oh! I mean, you know what? Here's what I would say to him. He lives in Southern California, home to Hollywood. Get some acting lessons, because that wasn't worthy of an Oscar.
You know, Pat, I seem to see a trend among Democrats, which is this, like, they call them theater kids now. Everything is this performative hyperdrama.
That's the thing, is from start to finish, this whole story, he would not have acted this way if there was not a camera on him.
Yeah.
Which is what is so frustrating about politics ever since cameras were invented.
Yes.
And I wasn't there a time before.
Yes.
But it truly, it's so much more about, you want that clip. And the sad thing for him is that the story didn't get as much attention as, you know, if we weren't also worried about World War III.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, you know, it's not.
You made me think of what it would be like to get a selfie before there were cameras. You just grab some guy and you go, paint me.
Yeah.
Paint me. Tyrus, why couldn't he be like the L's in his last name and remains silent.
It was an emotional speech, Greg. And
We're gonna come back.
The toughest part, the hardest part was while he was talking, he realized what happens when you around and find out. Scene.
You get escorted out of a lot of places, Loftus. So you understand, because you shouldn't be sleeping in public places. But is this why Democrats have problems with men?
Yes. This is all they do is they're the party of cry bullies. Mm-hmm. They do some horrible action, then they have the consequences of that action, and then they learn, and I didn't, and I was flat on my head. And this guy was drawing it out. It was like the Citizen Kane of I'm trying to cry speech. I would have given my left nut if Kristi Noem would have interrupted him. If she would have come flying down the aisle. I have one question. Oh, that would have been the best. All they do. They cry and cry and cry. And that's what I like. That's what I like about Trump. Trump takes a bullet to the ear. And he doesn't cry. He's like, you missed me. Now we're gonna fight.
And they were more mad about him yelling, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
Right?
They wanted him, they were like, he was supposed to come up and go, free Palestine.
While crying. Oh my gosh, what happened?
Happy Pride Month. All right.
Publicity stunt. The politician's protest was just a publicity stunt. Recount. She recounted the events of that day with great emotion. Lunge. He lunged at the microphone to stop the reporter. Rant. He went on a long rant about government corruption. FAFO. He tried to mess with security and learned the FAFO lesson. Hyperdrama. Her reaction to the comment was pure hyperdrama. Grandstanding. The senator was grandstanding instead of discussing real issues.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.